Hey, Steve.
Hey, Danny.
Just got through getting my claim filed, and when I get through with this, I've got to get my car to the mechanic.
So the insurance going to cover it?
Yeah, it's going to cover it. Well, I say it is. It's
Yeah, you can have a deductible.
Nationwide, it's expensive insurance, but it's pretty good whenever you need it.
Yeah.
So and then the guy that's doing the work, he's a local guy, and he's done all my work for pretty much all my life, so I trust him with whatever. So I'm just going to take it and leave it, and if I have to go get a rental car for my wife, I'll have to go pick a rental car up today, and she's got to go to Raleigh later on this week to take care of grandbabies.
Yeah.
You got grandchildren?
Good. No, I just have one daughter, and she's not married, and so I don't know how close we are to it.
Okay, well, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen, if it happens.
That's exactly right.
That's it. I've got 3 granddaughters, and then I've got a son living in New York that is not married. So,
well, I'll tell you, with all you got going on, it's a good thing you're retired.
But you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way, Steve. I like being active.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I see what time you get up in the morning time. You've been doing that for a while, hadn't you?
I don't even need it. I was up at 4:40 this morning. The alarm doesn't even make it. I set it just in case, but
I wake up. I don't always get up, but I wake up, but I don't go to bed until late. So
yeah, it was about 10:30, I guess, last night. I got pretty tired.
Yeah, I was still up, but with this add-on program, with the mails program, the add-on program, you kind of know when people's going to be working, and so I try to make sure that I clear everything from what they have submitted before I go to bed at nighttime, and then that's the first thing I do when I get up in the morning time. I'll start looking at that again.
Yeah.
Because I try to work it because I know what their work schedules are, and you kind of get in a pattern, and you know what you're doing with all that, and then with these dissertations or proposals, you know, everybody wants a piece of you at one time. They don't want you for a while, but then they want you all at one time.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, but it's starting to come together. You know, after you kind of, if you observe it, you can pick up the pieces and you know what you're supposed to do. So it's starting to come together, and I've been watching people like you and Dr. Lamb and different ones and you just figure it out.
Yeah, you do. You do. You get organized the best you can, and I've got some goals for today. I've got 5 here.
I've got Brayton sent me his chapters 2 and 3 yesterday, so my goal is to look at that again. I'm probably going to try to visit him sometime in the next few days. Brayton does good with face-to-face visits with me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to see him this weekend anyway, so Dr. Palermo will be there. So I'm hoping that I can pull Dr. Palermo for a few minutes, and the two of us can talk with him there. I'm going to get him in gear, but I'm going to set him a date is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to say, this is what you have to have completed by such and such a time. And I think he'll do what I tell him to do.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
There's Katrina. Hey, Katrina. Katrina, are you there? Katrina. Can you hear us, Katrina? Katrina.
Good morning.
Good morning. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. We're Dr. Laws is here also. Good
Hey,
morning.
Katrina.
Good morning.
Okay. Dr. Laws, let me know when you're ready.
Well, I was able to pull up her slide thing this morning, and I can't do it. I'm on a different computer.
Okay. She can resend it to you if you want her to.
Well, it's a Google sign-in.
Do you want me to resend it?
Yeah. I don't understand why. Wait a minute. Now it's making me sign in, and it won't let me sign in.
That Google Doc stuff is it's funny
I
stuff.
can't stand it. I just, it drives me crazy.
I know it. There's still a part of me that will always be old school.
Yep.
Katrina's told me many times. I said, send it to me. She said, Dr. Stedman, you got it. She said, all you got to do is open that same thing I said before. She has to remind me of
Just enter in
that.
a Word document, and I can get it. Half the time, you got to get permission from somebody to get in, this or that, and I said, just send it in a Word document.
Yeah, that's what I do. But now, Katrina, a few of these have used this, so I've gotten accustomed to it. I'm not going to say I like it, but I've gotten accustomed.
I don't know why it's doing this. It's Google sign in to continue slides, email or phone.
But you were able to get in it before?
Yeah, let me try this.
Do you want me to download it and email it to you as a Microsoft
Well,
PowerPoint?
I read it this morning. I don't really have to have it.
Okay.
I know what. Y'all can go ahead and start talking.
Okay. Katrina, and I will tell you, Dr. Laws and I have we've already talked, but we need to hear from you.
Okay.
Let's Dr. Laws, if you're okay, let's just take it. There's 20 slides. Let's take it slide by slide and just take it from there, and then see what direction that takes us in. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at your title page first of all. And you saw that I had messed with that a little bit anyway. Did you see that, Katrina?
Yes.
Okay. We've got to look at that. First of all, you're not going to name Wilson, North Carolina. You're not going to name you're not going to name your school district. And I talked with Dr. Laws this morning, and we talked about too that you're dealing specifically at this point. This may change, but you're dealing with 3 high schools, so you're not looking at the impact it's going to have on the school system. You're looking at the impact that it's going to have on the 3 high schools in a rural school system in Eastern North Carolina, something like that. Dr. Laws, you correct me anytime that you think that I'm not in the right direction with this.
I think that's right.
But you're not looking at the whole school system. You're looking only at this point 3 high schools, and at this point we're going to say 3 high schools. That could change, but we're going to just say 3 high schools, okay?
Okay.
You're not going to name Wilson, North Carolina, and it would be a rural school system in Eastern North Carolina. And then we'll come back to that, okay?
Okay. I'm making changes as you're talking.
Okay. Okay, we'll come back to the title. Let's go to number 2, the problem statement and the hook. Talk to us because when you present, when we're able to finally schedule a date for your proposal defense, whoever's in there, Dr. Laws and I are going to be in there, and whoever else is in there, you've got to convince that audience, that's your one time to say something and capsule what this whole study is about. So
Okay.
what would you say based on this slide? What would you say in just a few words?
It's about increasing rigor, increasing the knowledge of rigor with teachers that will impact student achievement.
You haven't convinced me. It's got to be your wow statement. Am I correct,
Right?
Dr. Laws? Am I correct in saying it that way?
Well, I think this goes back. How are you going to measure impact?
What, with the teachers or with the students?
You tell me. I don't know. That's your study.
Well, as I've been going on with this and doing my research, and then the surveys that I came up with and everything, it's really looking at what the teacher, almost the perception the teachers have with rigor and what they're doing in their classrooms.
Okay, perceptions.
That has nothing to do with impact then.
Perceptions and impact are two different things.
Right. So would I look at both of them?
You tell us. What do you want to know?
Really, what rigor is to them and what they're doing in their classrooms at this point with rigor.
Are you looking at the students or are you looking at the teachers?
Both. Because what are the students doing with the activities that you assign to them? What are the students doing? Are they just doing recall, or are they doing a project? Are they creating something new? What are they doing within the class, within that assignment?
Dr. Laws, it's almost like she's talking about two different studies there.
Seems to me like it.
Now, you know that whatever a teacher does, whatever an administrator does, it impacts student achievement or what students do. So I would think about narrowing my focus, and you're going to talk about student achievement in your research, your results, all that, but your focus needs to be on one or the other. I would say that.
Okay.
And I you've got to make the decision. But probably if I were sitting in your shoes, I would look at that was a key word that you said a while ago. Maybe teacher perception, which goes back to what Dr. Laws and I talked about earlier. Teacher perception, that's teacher efficacy. It's the same thing. Now, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm trying to give you some thoughts. You're going to have to tell us what you want to do.
Right. I'm just writing down the notes, so I'll have them.
Okay. Am I okay so far, Dr. Laws? Are we thinking alike?
Well, I don't think perception and efficacy are the same thing, but
go ahead.
I do think we're.
But it's in the family somewhere.
Yeah, I think that she is. I mean, I don't know how she's going to gauge impact at all.
Well, that's what I was trying to get away from, that word, the use of that terminology.
So basically, I'm studying the teachers' perceptions on rigor and what they're doing with rigor in the classrooms, right? Or just teacher perception on rigor.
Again, you're telling us what you're going to do. We're not telling you what you're going to do.
Right. I agree with the teacher's perception, but when I do the teacher's perception on rigor, am I just looking at the teacher's perception at rigor and what they, with rigor, what they're doing?
Well, what do you want to know?
I want to know what they think rigor is, and what are they doing in the classroom with rigor.
Well, that answered your question then, isn't it?
Right. So it's teacher's perception with focusing on rigor.
Okay. Not just their perceptions on rigor, but you said something else. It's the teacher's perception on rigor and
what they're doing in the classroom?
or the impact it has in the classroom.
No, we're not studying impact.
No. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Steve.
So it would just be teacher's perception on rigor.
I think
I think you're missing something here, Katrina. Go back to what you want to know.
I want to know what rigor, when teachers hear the word rigor, what does that word mean to them?
All right. Now keep that in mind. Now, what else do you want to know?
What are they doing in their classroom with rigor?
All right. That's your study. And probably the third piece with that is what Dr. Stedman was talking about. How good are they doing it? How good do they feel they're doing it? How comfortable are they in doing it?
Yeah, and thank you, Dr. Laws. That's the really direction I was going in. You helped narrow it. And again, we're getting away from that word impact.
Right, because I wrote down my notes, teacher perception on rigor, and what are they doing in the classroom, and how comfortable are they with implementing it?
Okay, and that more aligns with, we'll talk about the questions, but that more aligns, Dr. Laws, with some of the questions that she was asking too.
I think so.
Okay, okay, say it again. Okay, now what is your problem statement? What are you doing?
The teacher perception on rigor, and what are they doing in the classroom, and how comfortable are they with implementing that?
Okay, and you can clean that up a little bit.
I got to work on the wording, but
Okay.
that's the gist.
Okay, Dr. Laws, I can live with that.
But is that still slide 2?
Yeah, we haven't gone past slide 2 yet.
Okay.
Okay, we may come back to that. Let's go to slide 3. Your conceptual framework. You got a lot of stuff on that slide. A lot of stuff.
So wait a minute, I want to go back. So the problem statement, she really is nailing the problem. The problem is students being prepared.
Right.
So the purpose piece is the rigor. So she's got, I like her problem statement, the hook.
Okay. Yeah, I have no problem with what she's got there, yeah, but she needed to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
On slide 2, where that picture is with that girl, what is rigor? That's a video. Am I able to show that video?
No.
No.
Okay. I didn't know if I could do a video, because that really shows where teachers don't know what the word rigor is.
I don't want to know what they're going to say. We want to hear what you got to say, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Dr. Laws. I just wanted her to be able to talk about it.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. What she's put there, the quote, that's a good quote. I think it capsules what she is talking about. So anyway, okay, let's look at your framework. When you think about the conceptual framework, what do you think about, Katrina? What is the conceptual framework? What is a conceptual framework?
I was thinking it would be the information, the data that I use in chapter 1 to explain why this is a problem and why I'm going to be conducting this research. So it's kind of like an outline of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Think about what is a concept.
A concept is something that you're trying to understand, like one part of a larger equation or a larger piece at hand.
It's an idea, and a framework is a foundation, right?
Right.
For building something. Sometimes it's called a theoretical framework. And that's an idea. Okay, what is the idea? The main focus that you're building this whole study on.
That's the idea, is that when students walk across the stage at graduation, they are not college and career ready. They have not completed the rigorous classwork or coursework that they need to be proficient at the college level.
Okay, when you look at the conceptual framework, now sometimes you can find one that's already out there and you can build your study on one that's already out there, like Herzberg. That was an example that was given. The motivation, that's already built for you, but then you can develop your own. But you've got to build that concept from the beginning, and you talk about it in your literature review. Dr. Laws, I just think she's got too much stuff there in the conceptual framework. Now, you tell me if I'm wrong.
Well, I'm trying to process this. To me, I think I think she's on target with the conceptual framework, differentiating that from the theoretical piece.
Mm-hmm. She's
laying out the problem.
Okay.
And she's basing that on ACT, SAT data, HSSSE, high school reform and work, whatever that is, but now the rigorous strategies would be under the theoretical piece.
Right.
To me, she's laying out the concept of we've got a problem with students graduating and being ready for the next step.
So she would talk about those in chapter 2, research it.
She talks about the conceptual framework in 1. She talks about rigor in 2.
Okay,
right.
Okay.
To me, because rigor is what she's studying.
Right.
But she's laying out this conceptual thing of we've got a problem. Now that's how I would.
Okay, I'm hearing what you're saying. I was just trying to tie.
I mean, I'm not much into semantics. I don't like conceptual framework and theoretical framework anyway.
Right.
I just want to tell what the problem is and what we're going to do.
Okay, it's the same thing though. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, I think some of that data can be helpful. I don't know what the 4th bullet she had in mind was, and I don't know what the rigor strategies. But that piece, all of this, if you want to call chapter 1 your conceptual framework, would go in there, because when she gets to the purpose section, she's going to get into the rigor strategy.
Right. Well, when I look back over at, I was looking at where in her review of literature, where she's talking about all of
that is your theory.
The program. Yeah, all of that. to me, that is where those rigorous strategies, they lie in all of that review of literature that she's talking about, where
Right.
the different programs that she's talking about. So I would suggest you take out rigorous strategies because they're included in your literature review.
Okay, I can do that.
But I hear what you're saying, Dr. Laws. But the things you have listed under this quote conceptual framework, again, that will be revisited when you lay out results in chapter 4 and come to a conclusion in chapter 5.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm okay with that. Okay. Let's look at your research questions. Okay, number 1, it says, how extensively are schools using strategies that incorporate rigor? Okay, this study is specific to your school district, a rural school district, and it's specific to 3 schools at this point. So we're not looking at all schools again. So, Dr. Laws, I would just say that in question number 1, if we choose to leave that there, that she fine-tunes that to be specific to the 3 schools that she is including in her study.
Well, I mean, I have a problem with the question to start with. I don't know how you're going to define extensive.
Yeah.
So I really don't know if that's important to the study.
I don't either.
Okay.
So I think you've got too many questions.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go on to number 2. What strategies are teachers using to incorporate rigor into their classrooms to prepare students to be college and career ready? Again, I'm assuming that you're looking at research-based strategies as they are aligned with all of the programs and things that you're mentioning in your study.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Laws, I probably would, if she's going to use talk about strategies, I would align that with research-based strategies as it relates to what she's talked about in her literature review.
Yes.
Okay, do you get that, Katrina?
So just put in front of strategy, put what research strategies?
Research-based strategies. And those strategies, again, are going to be aligned with the different programs and models that you're talking about in your study.
Okay.
Number 3, what professional development do teachers need to incorporate rigor successfully in their classroom? I think you've got to talk about, again, that could tie back into the strategies, Dr. Laws, because professional development is a part of implementation of strategies that have to be used.
Well, and I've got like 10 minutes, then I've got to go.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So it seems to me, and you're the chair.
I'm listening.
But it seems to me that you pare this down to 3 questions. One thing, Katrina, you're not studying administrator, so you don't need number 5 at all.
Right.
Okay.
You're wanting to know in some fashion, ever how you're going to get at it, which strategies are being used in the classroom at these 3 high schools. You want to know the efficacy of the teachers in using these strategies, and you want to know in some kind of fashion the professional development that is needed to enhance the efficacy of the teacher.
So we're looking at keeping
things.
2, 3, and
You will
4.
determine the third question in your qualitative piece in finding out, okay, what things can we help you, or can Wilson County help you in developing your efficacy level in implementing these strategies. So those are the 3 things that you're after in this study at these 3 high schools.
Okay.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I know you've got the significance of the study. We can move on past that. I can help you with that. Let's go to the methodology.
Okay.
That's Dr. Laws and I have talked already. That's a lot of questions to ask in a survey, and
Okay.
I don't know that you're going to get a lot of people to respond to take the time to do what you want them to do, because it is a lot.
So do I need to find a whole new survey, or can I just pick and choose certain questions out of that survey?
First of all, is a validated instrument, right? Reliable and validated instrument.
All right.
Dr. Laws, I think if she abbreviates from it anyway, she has to have permission to use it in a different way.
That's correct.
That's what I thought. You would have to have permission, but I would say yes. You need to fine tune that instrument. It doesn't need to be that many questions.
Yes, sir.
The ones that I would make it more relative to what you're looking for, and ask permission. And you usually don't have any problems getting permission to do that. Okay. The instrument itself, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just too much for what you're asking for.
So what's like the max I should have on questions?
There's not a max. That's just too many. 48's too many. And we can talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, just look at it, and then you can get back with me on that, okay? Just know that the instrument is okay. It's just that we need to fine tune the instrument.
Okay.
Okay, your terms, that's an easy part. Delimitations, limitations. One of the things that could be a problem is that you're doing the 3 comprehensive high schools and you're doing the interviewing yourself. Am I correct?
Yes.
So that means that the people that work for you, and possibly people that know you in the systems, how honest are they going to be with their responses, knowing that that you're an administrator there?
So should I have somebody else do the interview?
You could. You've got to decide that.
Okay.
Is there going to be a focus group? How many is going to be in that focus group? Who's going to conduct that focus group? When you look at it, who's going to? How are you going to record the data? That's got to be discussed. How is it going to be recorded? When you record the data, who's going to interpret the data? How is it going to be interpreted? Okay. Anything on that, Dr. Laws?
Well, we had a class on the qualitative piece,
right,
where we talked about the challenges of using a proxy. If you're going to use a proxy to conduct the interviews, then you're not going to get any follow-up questions. You're just going to get answers to questions.
Right.
And so that limits the depth of data that you'll get. But as Dr. Stedman said, there's the concern of you conducting it, and will they say what they think you want to hear? So you got, either way, there's going to be a significant limitation.
And I'm okay either way, but there's going to be some limitations either way you look at it.
So
Right.
you just
So
need
you
to
can
be able
go
to
in,
address that, and you need to be able to address how you're going to select the people that are going to be interviewed.
right.
Okay.
Okay. The review of literature, I have no problem with any of that because I think you got a lot of stuff, and we'll talk about that more. You've got to slide 13, and I know you got to go in a minute, Dr. Laws. So slide 13, syntheses, 13 and 14. What are you talking about on those two slides? What are you looking at?
Here I was looking at different case studies that have been conducted. I was going to talk about the case studies for each one of those that go along with the 2 slides prior.
Okay, that's a part of your review of literature. That is included in your review of literature. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Okay. I didn't know. Okay. Let's move on to methodology. And okay, we've talked about that a little bit. Your instrumentation, you're working on that. You've got to
Edit that.
okay, edit that. Procedures. It's a mixed method approach. There were some problems with, you said you would conduct surveys. You said to validate the qualitative piece, the candidate will use quantitative data through conducting face-to-face focus group interviews. Explain that.
So with the surveys, all I was going to get would be their numbers they put on the surveys. And then I was going to do the focus groups with the school improvement teams for each school to really be able to dig deep into some more questions about the strategies they were using and how they felt about rigor.
Dr. Laws, what was it we were talking about earlier? You said she had something backwards?
Well, she's got, I mean, that last bullet is, unless I'm reading it wrong, is incorrect all the way through. She's gonna validate her survey data through the qualitative data, not vice versa.
Right. That's what I thought.
So I need to put quantitative first and then qualitative?
Well, I thought that's what you were going to do, but if you're not, then you tell us.
Right.
No, I probably just got the words mixed up, so I just had to switch the 2 words.
But if that's what you're going to do.
Right, that's right. That's what I want to do.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about that more, and then, and I understand the data analysis. That, I mean, we got to clean that up too. Okay. The takeaway in all this, what is it at this point, Katrina, that you've got to do to fix the things that we've talked about? What is your takeaway from this?
My big takeaway, or what I think I need to do, what I was planning to do, is like I just put the bullets, like the headings for each one, and then I would need to be able to speak on each one fluently and be prepared for each one.
Okay. What I want you to do is the things that Dr. Laws and I have talked about. I want you you've got to spend time on this. You need to go ahead and to look at it, get it cleaned up and fixed with what we've talked about. You need to get that back. You need to get back. You send it to me, but you can send him anything that you send me at this point. You can send him as well. If he has time, he'll look at it, but it's okay to send him anything you send to me, okay?
Okay.
You need to get this done as quickly as possible, and once he and I are comfortable with the changes that's made, he and I can make a decision on what the next step will be. We've got to see this first, though.
All right. So when do you think I might be able to propose the first 3 chapters?
I can't say that until you fix this stuff. So it's we've got to fix this first. Dr. Laws, would you say that we would have to do that first?
Well, she's wasting her time not to fix it before she proposes.
Yeah. Well, we can't
I
go
don't think
in
you want
there.
to stop here,
We can't
propose,
go
and
in
have to
there
go back and
until
fix, and come back here and propose again. I think we need to get it fixed before she comes. So I agree with
Right.
that.
But do you think if I get this done and get this back to you by Friday, that I could possibly propose before Christmas?
I don't see it happening until, I don't see, based on their schedule at Gardner Webb, I don't think it's going to happen until January.
I think it's potential she can do it right before Christmas, but if you're going to have it done by Friday, you're going to waste your time, because we're not going to just keep bouncing this back and forth. You need to fix it.
Right.
Well, we don't have time to keep reading your stuff any more than you have time to keep writing your stuff. You need to take your time and get each chapter correct. If it were me, I would fix chapter 1, send it to Dr. Stedman, check that off, fix chapter 2, send it to Dr. Stedman, check that off, fix chapter 3, send it to Dr. Stedman, check that off. And I think it's potential that you could have it, shortly after Thanksgiving, and then we can schedule the.
But I don't want to promise you something until I see something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
either
I know
way,
what you want, and I want that for you. I want it for
you're
you.
not going to collect any data over Christmas anyway, because nobody's working.
Right.
So I certainly think you'll have this ready before you get into school second semester good.
Yeah, I do too. And if we can make it happen in December, we'll make it happen. But I'm not going to make you a promise and then have to back down on a promise. If you do what you're supposed to do, what we've talked about, then I will make every effort to try to make it happen for you. I think that's fair enough, don't you? And and I will. But I've got to see it first. If you give me stuff back this week, I'm going to see you this weekend anyway. We'll camp out and get it done, and then we can make that decision. Dr. Laws is a phone call away from me. But see what you can do the next couple of days, and then we'll see if it's going to be something that's possible. And then again, I have to look and see what their schedules are, and if it can even be booked at this time. We have to have at least 2 weeks in advance notice before we can even set up a time. So it's all determined on what you finish up and do this week.
Okay.
And you can do it. I know you can. But again, it's left up to you. And then I'll let you know by the end of this week, and I know what your goal is, and I will try to help you reach that goal. But you send it to me, and I'll take the time and do what I'm supposed to do on this end for you. Okay?
Okay.
Dr. Laws, you have anything else?
That's good.
Okay. Well, Dr. Laws, I'll get back with you. I feel like Katrina's going to have me something probably before the night's over with, and I'll start looking at stuff, and I'll get back with you as soon as she and I are at a good place.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Katrina, I will talk with you later on. It's okay to call me this afternoon, okay?
Now, what am I working on to send to you? Am I working on the PowerPoint or the paper again?
Both of them.
Both. Okay.
Both of them. The PowerPoint is going to be what you use. You're going to have to give a book with chapters 1, 2, 3, but mainly that PowerPoint is going to drive the proposal.
And I can use note cards in that proposal, correct?
I'll talk with you about that. Yeah, you got to talk. You got to know how to talk about it, but I'll talk with you about that. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Dr. Laws, thank you for your time today, Dr. Laws.
Talk to you soon.
We'll talk later on. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Well, Steve, go ahead, Dr. Laws. I'm going to talk with Katrina just a minute.
All right.
Okay. Go ahead. What was it, Katrina? It's just you and me now.
So every change that I make on the PowerPoint, I have to make in the paper too, right?
Yes. They must be compatible. They must be compatible. Let me ask you this. Are you at a place where you can take a day or two off from work?
If I had to, I could.
You know what? If you want to make this happen, Katrina, that's what you're going to do, because when you're at work, you're so distracted because of everything you do. And I think that's been part of and I'm just going to be transparent. I think that's been part, because you do a lot. You do a lot of work. You do everybody else's job and yours too, and you know what I'm talking about. The only way you're going to be able to you're going to have to get away from everybody and everything. It's okay. I would suggest that you do that, and I think you can knock this out if you will get away from things. But if you don't get away from things, guess what? It's going to be put on the back burner, and then you're going to be tired. You've got to be fresh with this. There's not a lot that you've got to do, but you're going to have to focus on it. Do I make sense in what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can do this. I want you to remember again. It doesn't sound like it. I'm truly on your side. I want you to know that. And I know that this is tough love right now. But if you don't listen to me, I don't see, and I don't want you to get into a room with other people, and I have no idea who's going to come in there. Dr. Laws and I are going to be okay, because we were. But if other people come in there, I don't want you to get to a place that it would. I want you to know what you know, and I don't want you to be embarrassed with what you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not going to let that happen to you. I'm going to protect you from that. So I've got to know that I feel like you're at a comfortable place when you go in there. I think that we can do this. I think I can get you in there before Christmas, and I'll stop my world to make that happen for you. If I have to go right back up there right by myself and, do that. But you've got to do this on your end. So I think this week, the rest of this week is vitally important to us being able to do that based on what you can get back to me.
But I'm not so clear on what I need to do. Like, I know that, I changed the title of the slide as you were talking.
Mm-hmm.
And then I changed the questions as Dr. Laws and you were talking. And so, but I know I have to go in and change the title in the paper, and I got to change the questions in the paper. I mean, I understand that part, okay? And then I understand that I'm going to have to sit down. That's going to take some time to really go over which questions I'm going to use on the surveys. So I know I'm going to edit that.
And you've got to get permission from that, because what's going to happen is, now we will do the RB comes after the proposal, but those questions may come up during the proposal, and so we want to have a plan in place so that if we're going to modify the question, I just don't think you're going to get, and Dr. Laws and I talked about that. Most people, you know how busy people are. They're not going to give you, even if they do it, they're not going to give you good results back from 48 questions. That's too much.
Okay.
And you know what? You go through there and you pick and choose. I wouldn't say it for about 20 questions. That would be.
That's what I needed to know. 20 questions.
I would pick the best 20 questions that fit. And I say 20. If it's 24, then that's 24. You understand what I'm saying? Right. But that gives you a ballpark number to work with. And you've got to talk about in there how you're going to how the interviews are going to take place, where they're going to take place, how long are they going to take place. Again, are you going to record it? Are you going to get somebody to are you going to hire somebody to interpret the results so that you understand what all this? Remember right. When he talked about the phenomenological studies and those kinds of things. Those things came out when you had him. So you've got to talk about that in your. That's got to be outlined in your chapter 3.
Okay.
You've got to talk about all that in your chapter 3. but you've got to be able to talk about it in your proposal. This is what I propose to do. And if there's problems with it, then that's what the proposal's about. They'll say, well, you know, I don't think you need to do so and so. So somebody may come up and say, well, I think you need to change it this way, but you will at least have a plan in place, because it has to come from you. That's why Dr. Laws kept saying over and over again, no, what do you want? What is it you think? Because that is the probing things that will come, you know, during the proposal. And I want you to be able to very confidently say, this is what I propose to do. And if there's recommended changes at that time, you say, thank you, yes, sir, I can handle that. Or yes, ma'am, I can handle that. I can do that. That's no problem. You know, and that's what we want to do. But I want the confidence. I want you can't look at any of us and say, well, you know, you can't have that question mark on your face, okay? You can't. You've got to be able to talk about it. So we've got to get you to that place. And you can get there. You can get there. You're not quite there. But I think when you go back and look at it, and it's okay, send me stuff. I know how you operate. Send me stuff along, and I will give you feedback throughout the day. And if we need to talk again, if I need to do a private Zoom session, I can do what I'm doing right now, and we can do what we're doing right now. I can set them up anytime. We can do this at any time. I work at nighttime. It's okay. We'll do this again. If you say, Dr. Stebbin, I need a Zoom session, I'll set a Zoom session up and we'll talk. You might see me in my pajamas, but I'll talk to you. But I want you to take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. And pretend that I'm right there beside you. And remember how I make you look me in the eyes sometime, and you want to look the other way, and I make you look at me anyway. This is what you're doing right now. You looking me in the eyes. I'm going to help you get there. I'm going to help you get there. Do what I ask you to do today and tomorrow, and take some time if you need to. I will make every effort to get you there. I promise you that. Okay? You've got to know, and I know with you, I know about that trust issue you've got. I know about that. You've got to trust me in this, and you've got to work with me. And even when you don't like what I say, you've got to say, he knows what he's talking about. It's in my best interest. That's why I wanted Dr. Laws to go on off so you and I could talk by ourselves.
Thanks.
Call me this afternoon if you need to. It's okay. It's okay. I know you keep looking at the clock. I see that clock up there.
No, I have windows, and when everybody walks by, I always look.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I thought there was a clock up there and you had to go somewhere.
No, I don't have anything. I don't have any meetings till after school.
And listen, what goes on today, this is your and my business, and Dr. Law's up to when he signed off. But right now, it's just your and my business, okay? He's along for the ride, and he's going to help. But I'm probably going to be tougher than he is about things, okay? Because you know how particular I am about stuff. He's not as particular as I am. But at the end of the day, you know who they're holding responsible for you and for this? Me. So I'm going to make sure that it's right.
So if my superintendent's not able to do this, who could I get from the...
If I'll cross that bridge, if he can't do it, we won't let that hinder. And if I need to pull Dr. Lamb in at the last minute, I'll pull Dr. Lamb in at the last minute, okay?
All right, because between you and me, there's two people I don't want on my committee.
Well, I will pull Dr. Lamb in at the last minute, and I'll take care of that today. In fact, if you want me to, I can go ahead and make that happen, and guess what?
What?
He will be a good person to have on the committee.
Is he for rigor? Is that something he's?
He is very supportive of me and what I'm doing.
Okay.
If you want your superintendent, you go with that route first. But if I need to know, but I can pull Dr. Lamb in at the last minute if I have to.
But could I have Dr. Lamb? That way I would know I have 3 to do it. And then if Dr. Milson come, have him and he just be my 4th.
Okay. Let me talk with Dr. Lamb, and then if he says yes, then I know you don't need 4.
Okay.
If we get Dr. Lamb, then have you asked your superintendent yet?
I have, and he told me he could last year. And then I emailed him and told him that it had to be at Gardner Webb, and he's been off campus, and I haven't heard back in a week.
Well, then I wouldn't ask anymore, and we'll just move on. Okay.
So you're going to get with Dr. Lamb today?
Let me see if I can get with him today, and I'll get back with you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I've got you back on this now. I'll get back with you today. I promise you. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Take a deep breath. Get busy, and send me some work.
Okay, I will.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Okay,
Thanks.
bye-bye.
Bye.